Hello, people of the internet. This is Recon here, the Recon man, with another anime recon. This week, instead of reviewing a normal anime series, I have decided to record a movie, one that I saw on Netflix. This movie is called Expelled from Paradise. It's pretty much a post-apocalyptic world. The main character, Angela Balzac, and yes, that is her name, is from a satellite, actually, that sort of orbits the planet called Diva. Pretty much 95% of humanity digitized themselves before the end of the world happened with all the nuclear bombs going off. And now they're all digital, like they're all data per se, in like some weird cyberspace. I guess you could sort of compare it into like an all-the-time version of Excel world, per se. And they're all in this little satellite just floating around the Earth while the Earth went to hell. And the main character, Angela Balzac, who is an agent for the satellite is called Diva, by the way, who's an agent of Diva. She's the one who goes around stopping any hackers or any lawbreakers in Diva. And then one day, she tries stopping this hacker called Frontier Center, who is trying to hack into Diva and post a message to people saying that Frontier Center is leaving the planet and is going to explore space. They're not going to stay on Earth any longer. So, Angela Balzac gets permission from the head leaders of Diva to leave this so-called paradise place, this digital world, and go down to Earth and meet one of their Diva partners, Dingo, who is a person who still lives on Earth, who still goes around working in like this hellish world. At first, they don't really get along because Angela, her body was made in like 3 days, and it's really interesting because I don't know if the people in Diva are still being born, if they're still reproducing. According to her, they are. They're not made of ones and zeros, but it's still kind of a weird concept. And pretty much they have problems because Dingo doesn't really know if she's still human, and she considers all of humanity that still lives on Earth disgusting. Because people on Earth have heavy bodies, they need to worry about illnesses, they need to worry about getting tired, eating, and most of the time she sort of ignores that. Like, for a little while in the movie, she actually does get sick. Oh yeah, I kind of forgot about the spoiler warning. I'll forget about it this time, because in all honesty, the movie is quite straightforward. They pretty much, Angela and Dingo sort of bond a little bit throughout the movie. Oh yeah, really, just bond. And throughout the story, Dingo meets a few people, and then he finds a person who's apparently been dealing with Frontier Center. This dealing has been through rocket fuel, or the main source or main component of rocket fuel is being sent to Frontier Center. And during this time, Dingo and Angela have a bit of a fight. Angela keeps saying how ridiculous Frontier Center is because Diva apparently knows everything. They're apparently the gods of this entire world. And she's still the whole Nazi sort of believer that, hey, she is always in the right because she is with Diva. Diva is always in the right. And it is for that reason Dingo sort of fights with her, because he likes the freedom of having a body. He still likes the freedom of doing what he wants to do, doing a job. I mean, Diva, everything is pretty much made out for you. If you don't do it, you get apparently sent to the archives, to where you are stored for eternity with no chance of getting out. That's pretty jacked up. And so they continue with their journey, and they find Frontier Setter, which it turns out is a robot that used to work for humanity 500 years ago, back when the world was still the world. And apparently, for 200 years, it kept doing its job until it somehow developed a consciousness. And according to Angela and Dingo, this is not uncommon. Robots with smart intelligence that could constantly learn over the years would learn about music, learn about what they would like, and apparently would develop a consciousness as if they were an AI. But they were not born originally as an AI. And Frontier Center had no intention of harming the people of Diva or hurting anyone on Earth. His entire point for being a robot was to fulfill his purpose, which was an emergency action of launching this spaceship known as the Diva 3, which is one of the Diva projects, which they introduced near the later in the movie, which are projects for the survival of humanity. He was the last robot to still work on this project, still building this thing. And once Dingo and Angela realize that he is really not harming anyone, they decide to not destroy him like Angela's orders originally said. Angela then goes back to Diva to explain the situation, and all of them pretty much bust a nut. They all blame her for coming back before the mission is ended. They all blame her for not doing her job right. And when she says that they should just give him a chance, because Frontier Setter has already promised not to harm Diva, they still don't listen to her. They pretty much archive her until Frontier Center releases her and everyone pretty much in archive, and then launches all the weaponry from Diva down to Earth. This causes a big uproar because Frontier Setter calculated the chances of a peaceful negotiation and did not like its odds. And so therefore pretty much starts, well, technically Diva started this war by sending over 100 of their agents down to Earth with the sole purpose of killing Frontier Setter. And for this reason, Frontier Setter decides to launch his spaceship early. During this time, there's this huge battle between Angela, Dingo, Frontier Center, between them and the agents of Diva. And it's pretty even out because Angela stole all the big weaponries and apparently the strongest mech they have. And so it's a pretty even fight, and during this fight, Frontier Center launches his ship and transfers all of his data to the ship and pretty much flies away. When this happens, all the Diva agents pretty much give up. It isn't really explained. The scene is just with Frontier Center launching into space, and Angela and Dingo just watch from a distance as it all happens. And apparently that's when the fighting just ends. All the agents cease their actions, and it instantly cuts to with a scene of Dingo and Angela escaping, or like driving away into the sunset. Apparently they escaped, and the last scene is of Diva, the heads of Diva, pretty much saying how they need to make improvements on their agents and of Diva. And that's really all there is to the story. And I have to say, not bad anime movie. Not bad. Could have been better. I would put it on my watch it list. I don't think I would actually buy it. Though if you're a big fan of the action scenes and of the characters, it does have a very interesting setting. Though I personally don't believe I would ever watch it again. I mean, if someone else is watching it, I would watch it, but I don't know. I fully recommend just watching it. I do not recommend buying it or getting the collector's editions. If they make a second movie or make it into a film series, then I probably would recommend to buy it, because it isn't too bad. It isn't too bad. I could seriously see them turning this into a huge film series or an anime, because it had a good concept. It just needed a bit more characters, because there are only really 3 main characters, and it just needed a bit more. And with that, I think I am done. I mean, yeah, I'm done. My recommend is to watch it if you want to. If not, buy it. Like and subscribe if you'd like. Yeah, please, it would help me out a little bit. And also, if you have anything that could help me at all with my show, I still intend to continue doing this. Please put it in the comments down below. Thank you for watching. This is Recon signing off.